Hello and welcome to Setter's Raid. My name is Leon, better known to my clanmates as Setters. I'm going to start off this video with a quick look at. Uh, remember yesterday I told you I think I can do it? Well, I did it. I did have to upgrade Acrizia a little bit. When I say a little bit, I just had to add a couple HP and defense flares because right around turn 220, it was about 50% of the time a Crizzy would go down. And then if a Crizzy went down, then somebody would use their restore on him or revive on him. And then the big hit would come and we wouldn't have the revive to bring back her. So, long story short, just put a little bit more HP and a little bit more defense. When I say a little bit, I didn't change any equipment. I just did it just did spent a little silver to upgrade them, and it's at 100%, and this is on the hardest level. So I actually finally have some elixir to, or not elixir, but some of this stuff to spend on my guys. One thing I did find extremely disturbing is that the middle one seems to be the one that we run out of all the time. But on to today's topic. And today's topic is we're going to go into, I think I want to do clan boss intermediate. We did a beginner, and now I want to do a little bit of an intermediate. I want people to start thinking a little bit, not so much, here's a perfect team, go. I gave you the perfect team. You want the perfect team? Let's not slouch over, Leon. Let's sit up. When I get at a computer, I like to hunch over, and I shouldn't. This is the perfect team. Deacon, Seeker, DPS, Demitha, Eris. It's a 3-to-1 team. It works like no other. It is perfect. No single unit does a single thing. They all do multiple things. Newt puts out a weekend. Newt is my DPS. He's hitting hard. He's hitting fast. He's doing huge amounts of damage. Seeker, speed manipulation, DPS. He is hitting hard. He is my second highest hitter. Eris, cleansing. She's actually hitting at a high rate too. And she's also doing some speed manipulation. Demitha obviously is saving the team, but she's extending buffs, and she's doing just tons of other things. And Deacon, he's doing more than anybody else because I have him in toxic gear, so he's not only doing a lot of other work, but he's doing, and then I also have him as my cruelty guy, so he's doing cruelty, he's doing toxic, and then he's doing speed control. I mean, Deacon has got tons of things going on. So as I said, this is a great setup. But what I want you guys to think about is we can do various things. We can do a 2-to-1 team. Shortcut speed. This one it. Here we go. 2-to-1. Now right here I have actual guys' names in. But no, Helicath can be any. It can be any block damage, or can be any it can be any block damage or any unkillable that runs at a either 2-to-1, I mean 2-turn cooldown, or anyone that can run at a 4-turn cooldown. Okay, and there's variations in the speed. I'm gonna pull up this one here because then you can actually see it. I made this for my son-in-law. He's not my son-in-law yet, but he's going to be. And here's the speeds, and you can see Emic and Maneater working together. So Emic is at a 4-to-1. Maneater is at 5-to-1, but goes down to 4-to-1. And so they just alternate turns. DPS, Seeker is a must. Seeker is the only guy on this entire team that has to be Seeker. And then this could be another DPS. I do a separate because he puts out the block buffs or debuffs, and so this team can be run anywhere on anything. But just because we have that doesn't mean we have to run that. Emic is still great at 2-to-1, but instead of Maneater, how would I put in Naya, White Dryad Nia, and put Emic in the lead? Now I have it set so that Emic is at a 2-to-1. So Emic is constantly putting out his heal, or not his heal, his unkillable every 2 turns. Just every other turn he's putting out his heal. And the other time that he's running, he's putting out his, decreasing the counts on everybody else. Now you put in your DPS like Acrisia or Newt or you name it, and they're actually they're reducing everything by 1 turn all the time. So they're going A2, A3, A2, A3, A2, A3. They're not even hitting their A1. And if they do hit the A1, they hit it every once in a blue moon. Seeker obviously is Seeker, and then as I said, this could be another DPS. So you can have both, Newt and Acrisia going. The only thing that you have to be careful of is Emic. He is pain in the ass, but not more than that. Emic puts out that taunt, and taunt makes him take the stun, and you can't have him taking the stun. So what do? Well, you put in Sepulchre Sentinel, and you just block the buff. And there's bunches of guys that can do block buffs. And we can just come in, and I haven't shown this, and I should. And this is important for building teams. This is important for clan boss. Is this button here? It allows you to bring up all your champions, and you can filter by what they do. So I can come up and I can say, hey, I want all my guys that do block buffs. And I can see all the guys that do block buffs. And then if I hit hide, I can go through and see what each one of them does and how it all works on every single one of them. And I can see, oh, will this work with my team? Will this not work with my team? And it'll help you figure out who you have that will work. The reason that she works so well is if you come in and look at her block buffs and increased defense both, it happens on a 4-turn cooldown. So if we're doing a 2-to-1, we can always time it so that way. And this will actually go down to a 3-turn cooldown because of the other one. So maybe we go to somebody like Brogni. And Brogni does on a 3-turn cooldown. We bring it down to a 2-turn cooldown. All of a sudden, Brogni's constantly putting out block buffs every other turn, and so we're always under block buffs. And then we put in HP burn, and we have one of the necessary things. So I'm going to make a new document. And this is what I would consider for a perfect clan boss team. Okay, so we've already done a video where we looked at all the different things, and we know that decreased defense is the biggest and number one priority. Whoops. Let's learn to type, Leon. And weaken is number 1.5. They're hand in hand, and they're super, super important. They do so much for your team. So we need to make sure that we have those, you know, for our DPSs to really do the damage, right? Now, what are some other things that we need? We need increase, I'm putting in quotations, attack, but whatever your hit is, so like Newt does all of his damage is based on defense. So you want to make sure you have an increased defense, because with him as your DPS, you want to make sure that you're increasing the thing that increases his damage. But if you're, you know, hitting with Acrizia, you're hitting with Ninja, you're hitting with, you know, there's tons of other guys that can make it so you make one key team. You want to increase their attack. This here isn't a very high priority to me. It's needed. And right now on my current team, it is done by Seeker. He doesn't increase attack. But Newt does increase defense to himself, so I don't even need to worry about that. Another thing that I consider a must-have, for not must-have. Now we're starting to get into things that aren't as much must-have. I would say the first two are must-haves. The rest of them are very nice. Poison, whether it be toxic gear or literal poison. And then HP burn. These, you know, for beginning teams, for teams that are in the beginning, having both of those are actually probably more important than having this, because most people don't have an DPS that literally does that much damage. And so HP burn and poison are definitely among the most important for beginner to intermediate teams. And heck, when I build my teams, I'm still putting poison out there. I'm still putting HP burn out there. And I've got advanced teams. Though I have advanced teams not because I deserve to be advanced, but because I've just gotten lucky. Other things that you may want to consider, and we're just going to indent down. All this is based on block buff or unkillable teams. If you can't do block buff or unkillable, you want ally. It's not called ally attack. It's called, I can't even think of the name of it. Let's see if we can do this. I know what the symbol is. Right here. I just can't remember the name of it. It is called... Let's go over to the other side. Here it is. Ally protection. I'm an idiot. Good God. Sorry about that, guys. You may want to think about ally protection and having all your guys beefy. I have seen ally protect last longer than 50 rounds. And if you have just one ally protect that is timed right, you can actually put out, you don't need more. You just need the ally protect and that's it. And when it comes to that, a lot of ally protect guys, if we come here and just look and go back to the filter, if I put in block buffs also, you know, we have guys that do both of those things. Ally protect and block buffs. But this one here does an on a ally. We want it on all allies. I think he does the same thing, if I'm not mistaken. Places ally buff on an ally. Block buffs and ally protect on an ally. So not quite what we're looking for. I was hoping that we could walk away with one guy that does both. And I bet you there is guys in the game that do that. And all of a sudden you have one guy filling two roles, and now instead of having one or two DPSs, you can have 3 DPSs and a seeker. And, you know, all of a sudden you're going to be kicking out that damage high end. So, anyways, that is that. The next thing I'm going to bring up, I'm going to show 2 different websites. The first website we're going to look at is we're going to go to Deadwood Jedi, and the first thing we're going to look at is the calculator and the boss calculator. Now, in the boss calculator, there's a lot of different fields. We're going to run through real quickly on a basic. What are we looking for in the boss calculator? So obviously, when in the champion, you can just start typing in a name, and even if you can't remember their full name, like I know I want White Queen, but I can't remember her full name. W-E-I. Nope, White Queen is not out here yet, which is fine. Let's do somebody that's more common, but I'm trying to think of something that's, you know, kind of hard to spell. Everything's hard to spell for me. Geo. There's Geomaster or Georgia, you know, I can put him in. But what it does is it loads it up and it puts in his base speed. So it already knows his base speed. It knows his base, everything, all of his moves, how long they take to cool down, what they do. And then when we put in, I'm going to move this over so I can. We put in his speed, and we put her in at 258. We can see Geomancer and everything that he's doing or bringing to the team. He's not bringing anything to the team. There are various different things. There are sets. If you look at his true speed, it's truly at 258 right now. But if I change this to 2 speed, his actual true speed is 257.55. If he has the ability of Lore of Steel, look at it goes up. So you got to be careful with this, especially Lore of Steel. Lore of Steel will bring you up a half a speed, and sometimes that's really bad. Sometimes that's really good. Sometimes that's really bad. And so pay attention to Lore of Steel. But once again, they've got all the different speed gears in here. They tell you, hey, if you're at righteous, if you have perception, you have all that kind of good stuff. Has you pretty much covered. So, that's good. And then while you're building your team, now, just because I have Geo in the first slot doesn't mean he's the one who does the speed aura. Oh, I know that we're going to have a speed aura from Deacon. It's 19%. Okay, I can put in 19% here. Even though Geo isn't first, I know that I'm going to run Deacon first in my team. I don't have to put him in here in that order. And Deacon is at 195. And now we start seeing some of the other guys come out too, because even at 0 speed, they're going to get turns. But Deacon is coming in. Okay. And we can put in Demitha. And Demitha is at 288. And we can put in Seeker. Put him in at 185. And we can put in Eris. And we'll put her in at 266. And you notice what I did? I didn't click on this one here, and I didn't click on Seeker's name, so it didn't show up. And now we also got to make sure that we get the right guys going in the right order. So we need to make sure that we have Deacon hold off on his A3 2 turns. We need to make sure that Seeker holds off on his A2 just 1 turn. And here you see it says delay. You just put in how long you need these guys to delay for. And everything else. And now if we come down here, we can see we're right in order. 3 to 1. Everything's in here. I just created this for you guys so you can see how does this work. Now, we are going to go back and wipe this out, because I'm going to show you a cool little tool that's available to you that allows you to do what you need to do. My screen just went blank on me. Sorry about that, guys. What's up going on, guys? Come on. There we go. There we go. The other tool is the Hell Hades artifact extractor. Here it is. You need to you create a login. It's free, 100% free. And what it does is it allows you to upload to the website. So I'm going to hit upload to the website. And it allows you to bring stuff over. And look at that. Now I can go to Team Optimizer. And I can say, hey, what am I having problems with? Okay, let's go to Clan Boss. And we're going to go to Ultra Nightmare. And we're going to hit Find Team. What this is going to do is this is going to allow us to find teams. And they're going to rank it in damage order. And so, Demitha, Mithrala, Helikath, Mishnaki, Razelvarg. And if I click on variations, I see the speeds. What did he use? How did he use it? And I can come back to the Deadwood Jedi website and put into the calculator all of the different guys. I can see that he's the lead. I can see all that information. Now, let's say I want to build this team. Okay, I hit build team. And I can see all the different guys here. You have to go through every single one of the guys. So here's all 5 of their names. And you have to tell them, what do you want to do? Razzlevarg, we want him in damage mode. And his stats, we want him to be at 241 speed. And then we go to Mishinaki. And Mishinaki, we want him in damage mode. And he's at 211. And then we go over to Helikath. And we want him in damage mode. And we want his at 232. And as you can see here, it shows you what the copy team was. And then we come over to Demitha. And we want her in damage mode. We want her. Because we're doing block damage, everybody's going to be in damage mode. It just doesn't matter. And then we come over to Mithrala. We want to go into damage mode. And hers is 235. And we come over to the optimize button. And we can change the orders of how we want people to be optimized. Because I already have certain guys optimized, I may not want to re-optimize them. So you can just click on this optimize button to undo it. And when you have guys out there, they can be locked. And you can lock their stats so no one can steal their equipment. I doubt I have enough equipment from unlocked people to do this, but we're going to give it a shot and see what we get. And as you can see, it's going through all the guys. It's on Helikath now. Now Mithrala and Razzlevarg. And it's going to show you the equipment that you have. I do have equipment for Razzlevarg. How about Mishinaki? Oh, I do. Helikath, Demitha, Mithrala. I could build this team if I wanted to. And then you can view it this way to see what you're getting, or view it as a list. Show differences. So I can say, oh, so I can see that this here increases the attack, doesn't do anything to the crit rate, but increases my crit damage by 54. So Razzlevarg would hit harder. And Mishinagi. You know, you can see that information. And if I hit view, it'll show me where to get that equipment from. And I can see that I'd be pulling stuff off of Krizia, and pulling stuff off of Geo, and pulling stuff off of, you know, all these other places. So I can do that. But let's go to a champion. Eric's is a perfect one to do, because I don't have her locked yet. Idiot me. Eric's is, you can just type in a name here and it brings up your guy that you have. This is the build I have on my Eric's. I want to lock this. Why do I want to lock this? Because I don't want anybody taking her equipment. Now when I hit lock, when I run my optimizer, no one's going to touch Eric's setup. So I'm safe. I'm in a better place. Now, there are tons. If you want to do it one at a time, you can do it one at a time. You can select a single champion. Let's go with Geo. Or not Geo. Let's go with Mithrala. Or Demitha. You can see I have 2 Demithas. And you can select the Demitha that you want. Because I have one that's locked. I'm not going to touch her because she's part of my current team. But I can select this Demitha. And I can say, you know what? I want to use her for, um, I can't even think of the name of it, but Hydra Hard. I can optimize a single person. You hit optimize down here and you select what you want. We want her to survive. And I'm going to go into her stats and I'm going to say, hey, I want the resistance at least at 400. I want her accuracy at least 300. Or she doesn't have anything that she puts out there, so she doesn't need any accuracy. But her speed has to be at least, 250. Okay. And the other thing I can do, if I want, is I can come into sets and I can say, hey, I want to have at least one of this set. Or I can say, hey, I don't want her to have any speed sets because that's going to throw off her timing. I don't want her to have any, whatever set, swift parry because that's going to throw off her timing. Or I can say, hey, I want her to have at least one accuracy set. So, and then also required accessories, which is the same as artifacts. You can just say, hey, she needs to have at least one blah. So now that I've selected what I'm going to do, I hit optimize. That brings me here, and I hit start. It does take a hot second for it to go. I know it says 7 minutes. It's going to go down fast, but it's going to take me about 5 minutes to run through this. But what you're going to get in the end is you're going to get somebody who matches your requirements if it's possible. And if it's possible, great. If not, we might have to change some stuff. And I can show you what I mean by change some stuff here real quick. So, while this is running, you can change to say, hey, even though my gear is at level 8, and it's not all the way up to 16, I want you to assume all the gears up at 16. And so that way, if it's HP percent, look at that. I actually have stuff that'll match that. So I could actually use Demitha. Now, once again, it's going to, as it's adding adding equipment in, it's not going to let me look at my setup. But if I hit view as a list, I can actually see it building. And I can see that I have what I'm looking for. And so that is, I'm going to stop this right now. We can pretend that things went sideways and went bad. We can allow it to include artifacts that require, include this stuff. We can tell it to do different things. Here, the battle scenario, which is awesome. We can tell it, hey, we're going to go up against, we did it last time. We're going to go up against, where is it? Come here. Hydra rotation 2 on brutal. And now when it does its equipment evaluation, it's going to pull in the best equipment for Hydra rotation 2 because it's going to base the attack, the damage, and defense, and all that kind of stuff on Hydra rotation 2. Same with Clan Boss. Hey, I'm going to build Clan Boss because this whole thing is about Clan Boss. We can come up here and say, hey, we're going to base it on Clan Boss Ultra Nightmare. And this gives you all the information that you need. So that way we can do what we need to do. We can say, hey, we have Anyways, all good. I wanted to point this site out to you. And then, as I said, transfer that over to Deadwood Jedi Speed Calculator, because you may have to adjust the delay to make the the to make the setup work, so it's unkillable or it's block damage on all the right turns. Because if you notice, remember we brought up that team, it probably should still be here in the team optimizer. It has two different block damage guys, so we need to make sure that they're synced. So, we really have to pay attention to what we're doing. We really have to go through. We got Mithrala here that does a cleanse. We got to make sure that her cleanse happens as the first thing on the right appropriate turns, so that way no one gets stunned. Yeah, I realize I'm going through a lot of this stuff really, really fast, but as I said, this here keeps you from doing all the work yourself. And as I said, we'll go back to the find team. We'll go back to this. You notice that there's hundreds of teams out here. And a lot of this damage, you notice there's only like 4 variations, 14 total battles. There isn't a ton on that one. And some of these, like my team, like here's Myth's team. Myth by far is the greatest clan boss guy I know. This is exactly, oh no, it's not exactly his team. He has a different guy here instead of Newt. When I hit variations, you see that the damage is 103. That's because there's 100 people out there that are running shitty teams. And the better teams are getting 150 damage, not 17 million. So, this gives you the average for all the teams that are happening on that one. And that's not my team yet. That's getting close. And if I wanted to try to find my team, I probably could by saying I must include Deacon and must include Eris. And then hit apply filter. And now there's only 55 teams. And right here's my team. Once again, you see it's only 96 million. But if I hit variations, there are people that are getting 157 million with this team. I'm lucky to get 130. And you can see how they're doing it. If you pay for the site, if you pay for it and you hit view team, they will show you all the information, all the stats that they have, all the equipment they have, all the masteries that they have. I'm not trying to sell you on that. I use it for free. Every time that there's a free equipment, they make this whole site free. You get the premium for free. So I take advantage of it big time. I wouldn't have the teams that I have right now if it wasn't for that. But let's wind up this long-winded, horrible... Leon, you did a terrible job. No, just kidding. Let's wrap this up. Let's see what we have here. Dragon turn attack is coming up. I'm not going to play with dragon turn. And I have Sand Devil coming up tomorrow. Guess what I'm going to be doing tomorrow? And then, but we're going to do Clan Ba. Let's see what we got. just so you know, yesterday, my team, St. Agnes, that I help coach, it was sections, and we sent 3 guys to state. That's why I was gone all day, and I was up at the ridiculous time I was doing my video. So we're going to claim. Let's see what we get. Haha, we got another sacred. Look at that. Holy cow. Fuck yeah. Give me some books. Oh, Void is awesome. And another sacred. 2 sacreds. I am right now set for the next rotation. If they bring in, White Queen is on right now, but if they bring on another champion, I have the stuff I need to get the guy again right this second. We're on red, so this is good. Force. I'm sorry. I call it red, blue, and green, not force, magic, and spirit. I know I should call it force, magic, and spirit because it's the right way to do it, but I'm an idiot. And so here it is. 133. Yeah, we got guys getting 154, and I'm getting just 133. That shows you how strong this setup is. They do such an awesome job together. They really do. But let's come back, and let's look. I have the eight sacreds ready, so I'm all set. Oh, and my tournament status, I've given up on it. I was 1, I'm now 2. I might even be 3 now. But the guy went way too far in the lead. He's at 35. I'm not going to catch him. So I'm just going to sit where I'm at. I got some stuff stashed away, but then I can just use that for clan versus clan. I have some energy here, 5 grand in energy, 6 grand in energy. So I'm just going to save that for clan versus clan. Let's see if we get a good soul. You guys have been awesome luck to me. Let's see if we get what we're looking for. Not what I'm looking for. Not what I'm looking for. So, you guys have been great luck on the shards. As long as I continue having luck like this, I'm just going to continue pulling on the videos because it just doesn't make sense not to. But this is Setters Leon from Setters Raid, better known as Setters to my guys. Signing off. You guys have a great day. Thank you so much for your time.